Part 89. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 881. The Holy Son of the Holy Heavenly Alliance, Shang Guantian, took a deep breath. His eyes glanced around him. Thousands of cultivators belonging to the Holy Heavenly Alliance had been killed. At this speed, I am afraid that they have not escaped the control range of the Tower of Miracles, and they will all be planted here. Fear began to breed in each other's hearts. You idiots! Do you really believe Fang Mo's words? Don't you know how many people Fang Mo slaughtered? He said that just to deceive you. Hey, you stupid people! They were all deceived by Fang Mo. If you don't run away now, when will you wait? If you wait like this, you will be dumped by a swarm of bees. Everyone follow my Holy Heaven Alliance and run together. Shang Guantian tinkered with everyone excitedly. Only by tinkering with more idiots to escort them can their losses be smaller. Shang Guantianshenzi is right. Support Shang Guantianshenzi. Shang Guantianshenzi can't deceive us. In the crowd, several disciples belonging to the Holy Heavenly Alliance hid among them and started a journey of cheering. Of course, from the overall situation, cheering does have a certain effect. For example, at the moment, this attitude of everyone seems very real. Brother, why don't, let's run behind the Holy Heaven Alliance? It's a run for a while, we can't wait to die here. Hey, brother, that's what my brother actually meant. I don't want to die yet. Oh. Then what are you waiting for? Brother. Let's rush out together. It is good. Let's take a sidewalk, so that those ghost claws may not find us. We must protect our dog's life, and don't be killed, little life is the most important. Evacuate. Evacuate. Evacuate quickly. My CAO, it's so terrifying. I'm going to be killed at any time, who can stand it? Let's run faster, dead deists don't die, as long as we run faster than them, we can survive. Hee, Fang Fan really feels that he has launched a comprehensive slaughter of us people? He doesn't want to have a foothold in the luminous galaxy. That's it, he just pretended to be 258,000 to 80,000 UN. The labor and capital are here. Who would dare to do it? Boom. The head and body of the person who was still surging and talking just now have been completely separated. My CAO. Run. If you don't run, you will die. The emotions of everyone seemed very real, and most of them reacted differently in the face of death. Fang Fan's eyes swept around the battlefield, still as noisy as ever. I said what I should say. Stop. I won't attack. But those who are still fleeing madly, whether they are practitioners of the four major forces or practitioners of other forces, can only carry out the final slaughter. Fang Fan's voice gradually became louder, and he wanted to make sure that everyone could hear it. Endless ghost claws. Let's have an indiscriminate killing feast. At this moment, as long as the practitioners are still evacuating at an extreme speed, kill me. Fang Fan snorted coldly, his eyes twinkling. It's all said and done. What should not be said, also said. Obviously there is a chance to survive, but some people, just want to die. If this is the case, then Fang Fan has nothing to say. There can only be one wave of desperate battles. Countless ghost claws originating from the Tower of Miracles were born again. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 882. Don't kill me. I'm a lunatic. This is a lunatic. I'm a person from Xiaomin. I'm not from the four major forces, let me go, Fang Mo. You are the biggest devil in the world. Fang Mo. You have to die. I was wrong, so wrong, I'll never run again. Hundreds of ghost claws can remove hundreds of heads in a second. Although there are many people, but at this speed, it may not take long before they can only become a headless corpse. To say that there is no feeling at all, it must be fake. After all, the iron-headed dolls in this world are limited, and more of them are actually ordinary people who are afraid of death. I am not from the four major forces, and I have never participated in the siege of Fangfan's Hall Master. I will not run away. If I keep running like this, I will definitely die. But if I stop according to Fangfan's words, I may still find a chance. That's right, right? Rather than taking this mortal road, it's better to believe in the character of Hall Master Fangfan. Actually, Palace Master Fangfan is really good. If it weren't for him, our cultivation would not have been promoted so quickly. Palace Master Fangfan wants to take revenge on the four major forces, and it is purely due. After all, they are indeed courting death by themselves. Seeing that Palace Master Fangfan has obtained so many treasures in the Tower of Miracles, he began to think about it. There is no good thing for this group of people. Agree. It would be really stupid if we listened to the practitioners of the four major forces foolishly. If they escaped, they might die, but if they stayed, they might die. I can't do such a thing as a shield for these bastards. Steady, don't wave. The most important thing is to save the dog's life. Life-saving comes first. Everything else is nonsense. In the face of death, more and more practitioners of ordinary forces have stopped. At this moment, most of the practitioners on the battlefield are only practitioners of the four major forces. At this moment, the practitioners of the four major forces began to die at a speed of hundreds per second. If you keep going at this speed, maybe it won't take long before it will really cool down. Shengtian League, Motion Pavilion, Xingluo Academy, Soul Chasing Pavilion. Now the chief true inheritor of Xingluo Academy, Qian Hao, has been beheaded. The one who re-leads the team is one of Qian Hao's cronies. Gu Lin, the young pavilion master of the Chasing Soul Pavilion, glanced at the practitioners of the Chasing Soul Pavilion around him, and suddenly showed a heartache. Originally, there were 3,000 cultivators in the Chasing Soul Pavilion, and some vassals also had 2,000 people, almost 5,000 people. But what about now? The 3,000 practitioners in the family have already lost more than half, and now they may be less than 1,000. If this continues, this little family will really be hollowed out. This is the young genius of their soul-chasing pavilion. If it is completely damaged, in the next 100 years, there will be no leaders of the younger generation in the Chasing Soul Pavilion. The most important thing is, his little life can't be saved. Although he is the young pavilion master of the Chasing Soul Pavilion, but now that the Chasing Soul Pavilion has suffered heavy losses in his hands, it is still a question whether he can continue to be the young pavilion owner. If he is abandoned by his father and deprived of the position of the young pavilion master, then he is equivalent to being thrown into the 18th layer of hell. His jackal-like siblings. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 883. Gu Lin took a deep breath and had to say, he panicked. Really panic. In the face of death, he is not as calm as he imagined. Fang Mo. No. Hall Master Fang Fan, I am willing to live in peace with you in the Chasing Soul Pavilion. Please, please don't target our cultivators in the Chasing Soul Pavilion again. Gu Lin turned his head, and a loud shout came out immediately. Gu Lin. What are you doing? Are you crazy? You dare to compromise? This devil has abolished you. Sidu Zhan, the devil son of Motion Pavilion, turned cold, and glared fiercely at Gulin, the young pavilion master of the Chasing Soul Pavilion. Gulin looked at Sidhu Jan with a sarcastic look on his face. Lord Motzi, my soul-chasing pavilion is not your motion pavilion, there are so many cannon fodders to bury. These are the elite geniuses of my soul-chasing pavilion. If they are all damaged here, my soul-chasing pavilion will be destroyed. I'm sorry, I can't afford to gamble. I don't dare to gamble. Gulin narrowed his eyes, and the light in his eyes flickered. His words are so true. Palace Master Fang Fan, how about peaceful coexistence? I am willing to be the Palace Master Fang Fan for reconciliation. Gulin looked at Fang Fan with a look of hope. At this moment, he really couldn't hold it anymore. Being in peace. Reconciliation. It's not impossible, the premise is, stop and let's talk. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and looked confident. Master, the energy consumption in the Tower of Miracles is too much, and I may not be able to use the ghost claws many times. Fang Fan was also surprised when the voice of the miracle spirit suddenly came from his mind. Originally, he also wanted to slaughter all the practitioners of the four major forces. Now, it seems to be a little bit worse. Stop. Stop. What if you go back on your word and kill us all? Gulin, the young pavilion master of Chasing Soul Pavilion, obviously kept an eye on it, and Fang Fan also expressed his distrust. Even if you don't stop, I can easily kill you all. You said that if I mobilized the ghost claws I used to attack your soul-chasing pavilion practitioners, would you be able to completely wipe out your soul-chasing pavilion in 3 seconds or 30 seconds? Fang Fan chuckled lightly and laughed happily. Although there is not much energy in the Tower of Miracles at this moment, and it is unlikely that he will be able to practice what he just said, it is still necessary to install it. Otherwise, it's really revealing. At that time, the swarming attack of this group of people will really arrive. Gulin, the young pavilion master of Chasing Soul Pavilion, changed his expression. Although he wanted to refute, he had to admit that what Fang Fan said was true. Alas, hope you can keep your promise. Cultivator of Soul Chasing Pavilion, stop. Let's stop running. Gulin scolded, and the cultivators of Soul Chasing Pavilion quickly stopped. In fact, they have long wanted to stop. In the process of running, they may have to be decapitated by the ghost claw at any time, they are really fed up. I am also terrified from the bottom of my heart. If nothing else, at least life-saving comes first. Say 1,000 words and 10,000, your little life is yours. Gulin. You bastard. You are not worthy of my dark camp hero. The dark camp doesn't have a coward like you. Brothers. If you believe me, Sidhu Jan. Just follow me and rush out. I don't believe it anymore, Fang Fan can really control everything. Follow me. I, Sidhu Jan, will protect your life. I will definitely protect you to the end. Sidhu Jan promised proudly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 884. Now yielding to Fang Mo, it will only be a dead end. But if we escape, if we really have a chance to escape, we can snipe Fang Mo and plunder all the treasures on him. Divine Veins. Priceless Divine Veins. Don't you want to have them? Even, there is the legendary Divine Land. You don't want to see it? And, the Supreme Treasures and Gods list for clearing all levels in the Tower of Miracles, don't you want to take a look? Opportunity. It's already in front of you. Whether you can seize this opportunity is up to you. I said what I should say. It's a man. Just stand and rush with me. Demon Heaven Pavilion Demon Son Sidhu Jan stood proudly, and the more he spoke, the more powerful he became, as if he was the only one left in this world. This sense of arrogance was extraordinarily real. Fang Fan looked at Sidhu Jan, who was extremely pretentious, and was speechless. Immediately, he sprinted over. He waved his hand gently, mobilized 10 ghost claws to surround it directly. This time, the ghost claw did not directly remove his head, but started scratching from all directions of his body. Scalp, chest, back, limbs. 10 ghost claws, scratching once, dripping blood once. What is even more terrifying is that the place caught by these ghostly claws does not actually bleed, but gradually turns dark brown. Sidhu Jean's body began to tremble violently. Fear arises in my heart. This is the ghost claw. One is scary enough. Now there are 10. Who can resist this? Don't, let me go, I don't want to die. Sidhu Jean's forehead began to seep out of cold sweat the size of a bead of beans. I really don't want to die. I'll give you whatever you want, just to save my life. Sidhu Jean, the devil child of Motion Pavilion, who seemed to be arrogant before, is now completely cowardly. Don't be shy, it's really fatal. Ha ha. I don't want to die, it's not impossible. Let all the cultivators in the Motion Pavilion stop first. As long as there is a Demon Heaven Pavilion cultivator still fleeing, let the ghost claw grab a piece of your flesh. Well, with your body type, at least you can hold on to a few hundred claws. Don't worry, even if there are only a few ribs left on your body at the end, I will use the healing card for you, and then you will be able to grow flesh and blood again. It goes on and on, do you think, isn't it good? Fang Fan strode over to Meteor, his eyes filled with excitement. Do not. Devil. You are a demon. All the practitioners of Motion Pavilion, please stop for me. Hurry up and stop. And Fang Mo. No. It's the Palace Master Fang Fan who continues to fight against each other, there's no good end to it. Palace Master Fang Fan is a man of integrity. If you stop now, Palace Master Fang Fan will definitely not kill you. I guarantee you as the devil of the Motion Pavilion that you will all be able to get out alive in the end. Whoever stops now, this devil will owe someone a favor. But if anyone doesn't stop, this devil will not let you go. The resolute reactionary before has now completely become Fang Fan's #1 lobbyist. This wave is very comfortable. Grass. What's the situation? Didn't he just order us to escape with him? Why is it going to stop now? Can you rely on it? What kind of thing, just this, can you become the devil of the Motion Pavilion? One general is incompetent, and the 3 armies are exhausted. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 885. A group of people suddenly rushed. What's the matter? Talking is like farting. In order to save your own dog's life, you don't take their lives in your eyes? What the heck? Not at all reliable. At this moment, not only the practitioners of other forces, even the practitioners of Motion Pavilion's own family are full of resentment. But in this situation, it seems that you can only choose to dormant, because you have no idea when those terrifying ghost claws will appear again. Compared with his own dog's life, other things seem to be less important. Now these people don't pay any attention to whether they can get the treasure on Fang Fan's body. The only thing they expect is to save their own lives. The 4 major forces, the Motion Pavilion and the Chasing Soul Pavilion at this moment have completely given up their resistance. As for the other 2 forces, Shangtian Alliance and Xingluo Academy, they are also on the verge of collapse. Qian Hao, the original chief of Xingluo Academy, has died, and the leader who is now taking office is even more frightened and his scalp is numb. All practitioners of Xingluo Academy are willing to reach a reconciliation with Hall Master Fang Fan. Starfall Academy's new leader followed suit and surrendered. Seeing that those terrifying nether ghost claws have been completely withdrawn from the camps of the other 3 major forces, and the cultivators of the Holy Heaven Alliance are attacked in an all-round way in the reverse direction, The son of the Holy Heaven Alliance, Shang Guantian, has a sad face. What, he's so hard. Go up and do some Fang Fan? He has no such ability. Escape. There is no escape from this dilemma. When fleeing at first, there are countless shields behind him to block the attack. But what about now? Not even a shield. Also make a chicken feather. The corner of Shang Guantian's mouth showed a hint of sadness. He wanted to forcibly hold onto it for a while, but he saw that there were more and more ghost claws in the nether world. Suddenly he was stunned. My Holy Heaven Alliance, I am also willing to reconcile. The four major forces, all surrender. Fang Fan glanced around the surroundings and nodded secretly. Very good. Very good. This is the right choice. As for the forcible persistence at the beginning, is it interesting? Is it valuable? Fang Fan couldn't help showing a sarcastic look on his face, and the whole person gradually became light and airy. Gathering all the practitioners together, Fang Fan glanced around, chattering, a little headache. This time, he is mainly targeting people from the four major forces. As for the other forces, although many of them are not good things, at least there is no direct shot from Fang Fan before. I promised before, I just want to find the settlement of the four major forces. Shentian League, Motion Pavilion, Xingluo Academy, and Soul Chasing Pavilion. And, the hardcore affiliated forces that followed these forces before. The practitioners of the four major forces and their affiliated forces can now take a step forward and spread the crowd. This way I can control it better. Fang Fan said indifferently. Immediately, the leaders of the four major forces walked a few steps forward with a sullen face and began to line up in the open space in front. Just follow them out, but there are not many cultivators. Brother, I remember that you seem to be from the Shentian Alliance. Why haven't you stood up yet? Grass. Can the hot chicken force of the Shentian League recruit me? Stop joking, okay. The Shentian League is not worthy of my shoes. How could I be from the Shentian League? No. How can I remember that you are chasing soul? Court. Don't talk nonsense, Xian Tai, I have never been affected by the evil force of chasing soul pavilion. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 886. Are you from Starfall Academy? You are from Seeing Fall Academy. Your whole family is from Seeing Fall Academy. Don't talk nonsense. I'm not. Aren't you that, one of the 7 heroes of Motion Pavilion? What's your name? Brother, you're wrong. I'm obviously a member of the Light Camp. What I hate the most in my life is actually the forces of the Dark Camp, especially the biggest culprit in the Motion Pavilion. I want to destroy my family back then. At this moment, I can't wait to curse the Pavilion Master of the Demon Heaven Pavilion and all the gods and demons, and all the gods are dead. Brother, on a hot day, why are you covering your face? Isn't it hot? Go away. I want you to take care of it. Down with the Holy Heaven Alliance. Down with Demon Heaven Pavilion. Down with Starfall Academy. Down with the Chasing Soul Pavilion. In the end, a wave actually formed. It's just that Fang Fan really doesn't understand this kind of wave. It seems that the 4 major forces have become the biggest villains in an instant, and everyone is on a crusade. And so far, less than 100 people have voluntarily surrendered themselves to the front of the 4 major forces and their hardcore affiliated forces. Allocated to 4 families, each with 20 or 30 people. So terribly miserable. Anyone with a discerning eye will know at a glance that there must be something tricky in here. As for what's tricky, to put it bluntly, dead pigs are not afraid of boiling water. If you admit that you are a member of the four major forces, won't you be taken care of alone? Now this situation is obvious, it is Fang Fan who wants to carry out a wave of cleansing and revenge against the practitioners of the four major forces. Running up now, wouldn't it kill you? The leaders of the major forces standing in the front row were suddenly stunned. Are they beaten? The Holy Son of the Holy Heaven Alliance, Shang Guantian, took a breath and looked behind him with burning eyes. All the practitioners of the Holy Heaven Alliance come to me. Otherwise, don't blame this Holy Son for not being sympathetic. It's all too late, and you're still playing tricks with me? At first glance, this Fang Mo knows that he belongs to the type of uncertainty. If I try to stimulate him at this time, can I save my life? One by one, they only notice their own dog's life. How could this be possible? If you want to die, everyone will die together. You, and you, come here for me. Zhou Zhao, and Gui. Zhao Depaying. Shang Guantian called out several names one after another, and he was considered his own cronies on weekdays, but he didn't expect to shrink at this time. The few practitioners who were pointed at the nose suddenly panicked. We just want to save the dog's life, you still want to pull me into the water? Do you have a team leader like you? I have nothing to do with this idiot. He is tricking me. Zhou Zhao, a cultivator of the Holy Heaven Alliance, said firmly. Indeed, the power of the Shengtian Alliance can let the young master join. Even if I ask me to be a saint, I am not happy. As for the Shengtian Alliance's Shang Guantian Sheng, the reason why it hurts me so much is that he holds a grudge because I slept with his woman before and gave him a hat. And Gui, a cultivator of the Holy Heavenly Alliance, said with some seriousness. Palace Master Fang Fan, please be careful. I just slapped him a few times before. I didn't expect the son of a bitch to hold grudges. Now he is thinking of dragging me down. It's shameless. Zhao Depaying, a practitioner of the Holy Heaven Alliance, also defended. The scene, for a time, seemed to be feikang dramatic. Fang Fan almost didn't laugh. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 887. This is so special, it's all talent. It's a pity not to mine. Shengtian Mengenzi Shangwen's face turned red in the weather. This group of dog things, the more they talk about it, the more outrageous they are. When he was in power before the sun and the sun behind, now he is in trouble, and all of them are flying away from each other. Shameless. Lowly. Asshole. You wait for me. When I return to the Holy Heaven Alliance, I will kill you. The Holy Son of the Holy Heavenly Alliance, Shang Guantian, had a threatening look on his face. As for those cultivators of the Holy Heavenly Alliance, their faces don't matter. It's hard to say if you can survive today, and still want to clean up us. Who gave you the big face? Do you really think you are a person? You used to be a holy son, what you say is what. As for now, saying you're a piece of shit, any opinions? This situation doesn't just happen in one place. Most of the situations in Motion Pavilion, Chasing Soul Pavilion, and Xingluo Academy are very similar. Everyone knows that standing up now will definitely be punished. If you don't do it well, your life will be lost. In the current situation, relying on a little bit of so-called affection, you want them to die. Obviously not realistic. Seeing that the situation froze, Fang Fan had enough of laughing, and then stood up silently. When Shang Guantian and the others saw Fang Fan's calm expression, they were immediately nervous. Could it be, want to start with them? Are they going to be sanctioned soon? Don't panic, it must be nonsense. With death in sight, can you understate it that it doesn't matter? Cultivators of the four major forces, stand up and live. Continue to hide, die. Report each other, and those who report 10 people will be released unconditionally. Those who have been reported will be killed on the spot. If it is reported indiscriminately, once it is verified, it will be killed on the spot. Of course, you can also choose to remain silent. I will kill someone every 10 seconds from now on. Well, you have so many people, you can still kill for a few hours. I'm not in a hurry, I can accompany you here. Fang Fan smiled, very pure. Sometimes, you just have to be so indifferent. When he said this, the cultivators below suddenly panicked. My CAO. I'm really not a member of the four major forces, don't kill me by mistake. You short-lived ghosts, Hall Master Fang Fan asked you to go up. What is the ink mark? Aren't the cultivators of the four major forces crazy? Why are they all dumb now? Go up. Keep going up. Mad. By doing this, you are harming us practitioners who are not the four major forces. Palace Master Fang Fan, I'm not a practitioner of the four major forces, but I would like to report a few practitioners of the four major forces that I know with my real name, can you do it? I will report it too. Hall Master Fang Fan, I can report 100 and save my life. I remember many of the people from the four major forces. I can also report it. People's eyes are sharp. After a wave of testing, these practitioners who were not from the four major forces collapsed directly. Can't hold back. You four major forces will kill themselves, why do you have to pull them? Now that something has happened, why do you still want to drag them to the funeral? In the end, the practitioners who belonged to the four major forces and those hardcore affiliated forces were pulled out one by one. Of course, there will naturally be some small twists and turns in the middle. For example, Life and Death do not admit that he is one of the four extraordinary forces. For this situation, verify it once, confirm it is correct, and kill it directly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 888. Fang Fan doesn't have so much time to accompany these guys chatting here. If things can be explained clearly, say it, and if you don't understand it, then you can't blame him. Soon, the practitioners of the four major forces were divided, and the practitioners of the hardcore affiliated forces of the four major forces were also pulled out. And that's all. Are you sure it's gone? One more report, and you can be let go. Fang Fan's eyes swept around, looking a little surprised. This is not the same as the number he expected. Before, he always felt that the four major forces all had 30,000 to 40,000 horses. But now, taking a look, adding one piece will not exceed 10,000 people. There are probably more people in Motion Pavilion and Shengtian League, and each family can still have about 3,000 people. As for the Chasing Soul Pavilion, there are only less than 1,000 people left. Xingluo Academy was the worst, with 200 or 300 people gathered together, cowardly. The number of cultivators from the four major forces together is about 7,000. 30 or 40,000 people, 7,000 people. Almost 80% killed. Thinking about it this way, the attack just now was indeed quite tragic. No wonder these people can't bear it. In the face of the threat of death, some of the others are nonsense, and it is true that the dog's life can be saved. As for the rest, most of them can choose to ignore it. This man didn't even kill him. Fang Fan said something with emotion. The faces of a group of practitioners from the four major forces in the surrounding area instantly turned green. You always talk, can you not be so worried? So, is it really good? It's heartbreaking. If it goes on like this, it will get cold sooner or later. Palace Master Fang Fan, can you talk about the mediation plan now? It's not good to leave us like this, okay? We are not the kind of people who are greedy for life and fear of death. If I really want to kill or cut, if I frown, I am not a man. The Holy Son of the Holy Heavenly Alliance, Shang Guantian, raised his head proudly. At this time, he had to think of ways to save his face. As the Holy Son of the Holy Heaven Alliance, it is already very shameful to surrender like this, so why not allow him to forcefully explain it? Shang Guantian thought this way, and a hint of arrogance began to appear on his face. Especially when he felt the strange gazes from other practitioners around him, Shang Guantian became more and more excited. Sure enough, these people are probably admiring his arrogance in their hearts. Is it? Thousands of knives are cut, without frowning. Is it such a strong existence? If that's the case, then I'll have to try it. Fang Fan had a curious look on his face, then stepped forward, holding a sword, and slashed directly at Shang Guantian. First chop off the left arm, then chop off the right arm. Then he aimed at his neck again. What? It hurts, it hurts. Don't. Fang Fan. You don't keep your word. Didn't you say that as long as we stop, you will save our lives? You bastard. Shang Guantian's forehead was covered in cold sweat, and his hands were cut off. At this moment, Fang Fan's posture seemed to be interested in his neck again. Don't panic now, when will you wait? Shang Guantian took a deep breath, his eyes flickering brightly. It's so hard. This day is over. Tisk, isn't this at your request? Confirm it. If you want to kill or cut, you don't even frown. Looks like, he's also the king of mouth guns. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 889. Fang Fan sighed with a look of disappointment on his face. Shang Guantian's mouth twitched. I'm just pretending to be a force, brushing the impression points. Who made you take it seriously? It was almost really cold. Shang Guantian took a breath. I was so hard. The situation is stronger than the people. No matter how embarrassed you have to hold back. Otherwise, I still don't know that this Fang Fan Hall Master can do such a strange thing again. Palace Master Fang Fan, just now, I said something wrong just now. I just hope to reach a reconciliation with Palace Master Fang Fan as soon as possible. Isn't this what you have always been looking forward to? Shang Guantian nodded and bowed his head. Now that he is not cowardly, when will he wait? That wave just now, almost scared the pea. Oh. Then I cut off both of your arms just now, isn't it my fault? Fang Fan frowned, looking worried and melancholy. Otherwise. When Fang Fan said this, he made a long note. Or what? Hall Master Fang Fan intends to let me go. Shang Guantian's face was overjoyed. Is there such a good thing? Then he wasn't beaten for nothing. Well, I mean, if you really care, you will definitely have a grudge against me. I'm thinking about cutting the grass and rooting it out. Fang Fan nodded in agreement. Shang Guantian's body trembled. I'm so hard. Don't scare me. I'm really intimidated. I will believe anything you say. Palace Master Fang Fan is joking. How could Palace Master Fang Fan be such a person? Anyway, I don't believe it. In my heart, Hall Master Fang Fan has always belonged to the kind of leaders who are sensible, trustworthy, and reasonable. How could he care about this trivial matter with me? Palace Master Fang Fan, you are as magnificent as the bright moon in the sky. I am like the dust on the ground. The gap between us is too great. How dare you have the slightest resentment towards you? Who dares to resent the other side's Hall Master Fan? I, Shang Guantian, are the first to refuse. Shang Guantian said that is a reasonable and well-founded. Directly open the dog-licking mode. People secretly despised in their hearts. Everyone laughs at Shangguantian, and everyone is Shangguantian. If they moved from place to place, they would probably do the same. Ha ha. It's sensible. Fang Fan stretched his waist. This kind of spicy chicken would get his hands dirty. Now the practitioners who are not affiliated with the four major forces and their hardcore affiliated forces can leave. The ghost claw will not attack you again. Fang Fan waved his hand and said casually. He was just following the previous agreement. Palace Master Fang Fan really kept his promise. We admire it. Ha ha ha. We were saved. Fortunately, the bastards of the four major forces were not fooled and continued to run wild, otherwise the body would have been cold by now. That's right. It's such a fluke. Huh, I'm still worried now. It's too embarrassing to respond to others. Evacuate. Complete evacuation. Don't be targeted. Spreading our feet is running. We are free. I used to envy those cultivators of great powers. They showed off their might and seemed to be very majestic, but now, that's it. Brothers, remember one sentence in the future, even if you are fighting against the true God, don't provoke the Palace Master Fang Fan. This one is not something we can afford to provoke. It makes sense. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 890. The practitioners of the ordinary forces have left, and naturally only the practitioners of these four major forces and their hardcore affiliated forces are still developing in a wretched manner. Palace Master Fang Fan, now that the practitioners of the ordinary forces have left, can we also leave? Among the crowd, Demon Son Sidu Zhan opened his mouth, wanting to give a hint. Now, he doesn't want to die either. In this case, life is the most important thing. Want to go? Then why did I work so hard to gather you all together? Am I so idle? I, Fang Fan, have never provoked you. But you have tried to kill me again and again. Because of what? Don't you just want the treasure on me? You can chase and kill me several times, so I choose to slaughter all of you now. It doesn't seem to be any problem, right? Fang Fan raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said something softly. Everyone's face changed instantly. This is so scary. Who can resist this? Palace Master Fang Fan is joking, we haven't reached that stage yet. Besides, it was Qian Hao from the Xingluo Academy who was behind and wanted us to kill you. It has nothing to do with us. Hall Master Fang Fan must be careful. Sidu Zhan, the devil son of Motion Pavilion, hurriedly started throwing the blame. Leaving aside the rest, the most important thing was to save his life. As for that dead ghost Qian Hao, shouldn't it be right to take the blame? Hearing what Sidu Zhan, the demon son of Motion Pavilion, said, the leaders of the other major forces instantly understood. The Holy Son of the Holy Heaven Alliance, Shangguantian, also followed with an excited crusade. Palace Master Fang Fan, we have long been unhappy with that Qian Hao. This guy has been trying to piss you off from behind, and he even tried to pull us together. We were really forced to do nothing, so we went on this path. No way back. Actually, according to our own thoughts, how can we dare to be disrespectful to you? This is impossible. Please be kind, please don't blame us. If you want me to say, this grudge between us all stems from that Qian Hao. Shangguantian's mouth is also very smooth, who can't take the blame. As he spoke, he also showed off his chest with the demon Sidu Zanzi from Motion Pavilion. Palace Master Fang Fan, I don't dare to say that to others, just from my Gulin's point of view, I admire you very much. Your mighty aura makes me have to throw myself to the ground. You and I admire your mighty mind. My respect for you is like the space of the Sun galaxy, so vast and profound. My respect for you is like These so-called holy sons and devil sons and young pavilion masters are definitely a set of flattery. Don't be rude now. On the premise of protecting the dog's life, everything can be given up. My life is in the hands of others, and talking about other things at this moment is also bullshitting. With such a wave of momentum, it seems that the dead Xingluo Academy's chief true biography Qian Hao is the culprit, the biggest devil. Fang Fan's eyes swept around, and silently fell on the new team leader of Xingluo Academy. Senior brother Qian Hao, not, the evil thief Qian Hao. This person is treacherous and shameless, and he actually tries to provoke the Hall Master Fang Fan. My Xingluo Academy will definitely remove these evil thieves. Palace Master Fang Fan, this is the corpse of the thief Qian Hao. I originally wanted to take it outside to whip the corpse. Now that you are here, it's up to you to deal with it. The new team leader of Xingluo Academy is not stupid, and his mouth is fragrant and his face is flattering.